Hey there, weavers, welcome back. This is Grace with Tangled Webs Weaving. And today we're starting a fun little project for the 4th of July. I realize it's only March, it's almost April, but I thought that these would be fun to demonstrate another aspect of plain weave not being plain. So these are made from 8/4 cotton. It's unmercerized and it is warped with 2 threads of red, white, blue, and white. And that just repeats until you get to the end of however long you want your towel to be. Or you could do placemats. I'm doing towels and I have threaded these for being 18 inches across, and I put on about 4 yards of work. I thought that it would be a good demonstration of doing plain weave on a big multi-shaft loom and how you can really just thread this so that you're using all of your shafts, but you're still weaving plain weave. So the pattern is just threading every other thread on either 1 or 2. And so all you have to do to convert that to a multi-shaft loom, like this loom here, which I'm using 8 of the 12 shafts. So I am threading these in a straight draw. Now a straight draw just means that you thread 1 thread per shaft from 1 through 8. And then you start back at 1. So it's actually very handy considering that the repeat is 8 threads. So I'm just going to thread this to the red threads on 1 and 2, the white threads on 3 and 4, the blue threads on 5 and 6, and then the second set of white threads on 7 and 8. And then I will start back over at 1 again. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I am going to just pull off 1 heddle from each shaft. So we're going to go ahead and thread these. So I'm just going to, and it's super easy. Oops, I missed the heddle on that one. So when I worked this, I tried a little experiment. I a lot of times will work 2 at a time, or even I think I've worked 4 at a time using just my fingers to keep the threads all separated. This warp, I tried using a warping paddle, and that didn't turn out so well. Obviously I need more practice at it, but I actually found a pretty good video on YouTube to do that, and I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. The other method that I tried, so I tried that for the first half of the video, or of the work, and then the second half I tried a different method of warping multiple strands and creating a 1-to-1 cross. So when I was using the warping paddle, I wasn't using it correctly, but I created an 8-to-8 cross. So I had 8 threads in each cross. I knew that I was going to pick 2 of the red, 2 of the white, 2 of the blue, 2 of the white. And so it really didn't matter that they were all in the same cross. On the method that I used for the second half of the warp, I tried using a method that gave me a 1-to-1 cross, but I was holding all 8 threads in my hand at the same time. And it worked pretty well. I did not do it very well. I would need more practice at doing that, but it did work. So I'll try that again in the future. And I will leave a link to that video also in the description. Both of them are very good videos, and as with pretty much any weaving technique that you are new to, it takes practice. You need to build that muscle memory. So one of the things that I did was I wound off, so with the red, I had 1 cone of red thread, so I wound enough to create the second warp, which was like 150 yards, and so that I had 2 cones that I was pulling from. For the white, I had 2 cones of white, but I needed 4 because there are 4 threads in each repeat. So I had to wind off another 3 spools of that so that I could wind from all 4 spools. And so I used basically 8 spools to wind my warp from. But it was a lot easier than trying to wind 2 threads, either park it or cut and tie the next color on, and then continuing on. So those are kind of your options. I guess there is a third option that you can, you could wind each warp separately, spread it, and then pretty much overlay the next warp onto it. I think if you did it that way though, you would need to warp it front to back so that you could get them all tied onto the back beam rather than having to figure out how to thread the loops with your warping rod. So, but that's the way you could do that. All right, so I need to quit talking and count here and get all my, I like to pull out the 8 heddles that I'm going to use, and then I can thread those. So a lot of times I will just thread the heddles with my fingers. That's fairly easy with textile heddles. Since this is 8/4 cotton and it's pretty large and it's very distinctive of which thread I need to grab next, I am using my sleighing hook, and it goes pretty fast. I will just thread these last two that balance out the pattern on shafts 1 and 2. You could thread them on any odd even shaft, so just so you know, because basically what I've done here is I have made this is a 2 shaft pattern, and I have used 4 sets of 2 shafts. So when I tie the treadles up, instead of tying up shafts 1 and 2, I will tie up shafts 1, 3, well, I'll tie up all the odd shafts to one treadle, all the even shafts to the other treadle, and then I will have 2 treadles that lift all the odd shafts and the even shafts. And that is the same as having 2 treadles that lift shafts 1 and shaft 2. You could thread this on just shafts 1 and 2. That's perfectly fine. However, with a countermarch loom like I have, you need to support the unused shafts, and so it's just easier for me to thread all 8 shafts. If you have a jack loom, you could absolutely just thread these on shafts 1 and 2. The other consideration, though, is that by threading these on all 8 shafts, it kind of spreads the heddles out, and you don't have all your heddles crowded onto 2 shafts. So, and typically jack looms use metal heddles, and so it might get a little crowded on your shafts. So those are the considerations, but you can absolutely do it. You don't have to use all of the shafts. It's just I prefer doing it that way. All right, so we're going to spread these out a little bit to where they belong. We'll thread the reed. This is 12 ends per inch, 12 picks per inch. So we'll get the 12 dent reed and put it in here, and then thread all these through the 1 thread per dent, and we'll start weaving. Okay, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. In the next video, we will work on weaving these towels, and I'll demonstrate working with multiple shuttles, since we'll be working with multiple color changes frequently, and we'll be working with 3 shuttles at once. So I hope you join me for that video, and thanks for watching, and happy weaving!